Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am, so I'm not going to tell you my name. Um, Actually, in the middle of getting some work done, and as you do, you get up in the morning. If you're sort of self-employed and stuff, you get up in the morning and you do as you do. You go through your emails and you'll check and you'll read what's going on. See, there are a lot of things going on around the world, and sorry, let me stop that. Right. So this video is one that'll be a little different to my normal boxing videos because it's not a what is a maybe a prediction or maybe a preview, but it's concerning one Adrien Broner. Now there are people out there in the world that know that I'm not Broner's biggest fan, not by a long shot. I think he is extremely talented fighter. Let's not get this twisted. He's extremely talented fighter, but the point I really want to make today was quite disturbing actually. You get your emails and you check your email and you may go to your Facebook page and then you see a picture of Adrien Broner. Now this picture was probably the most disturbing one I've seen yet. I've seen videos with him on the toilet. I've seen videos of him in strip clubs. I've heard him make some stupid comments. I mean, him wiping his ass with dollar bills was just ridiculous. But this photograph, above all the photographs, was the one most disturbing, and it's the photograph of him with a gun next to his chest. Adrien Broner, he's young, he's brash, he's flash, and in my opinion, he's one of these guys that would burn out real quickly. Um, I don't know him personally. I can't tell you I know him personally, but the likes of Adrien Broner have come and gone in the sport. Highly talented, not really use the most of their skill to the ability that they have, out partying or out eat themselves, and you know, here today, come tomorrow, here today, gone tomorrow. That sort of a fighter. And what I want to talk about is the problem, or have we got a problem, or has he got a problem? You see, boxing fans are very. I'm talking about the very. Some of boxing fans are some of the most low down scum of the earth people that they are. I'm sorry, I have to say, because let's get something real straight from the start here. Um, Boxing, and you look at boxing in its purest form, its most brutal form, you're paying or you're sitting down to watch somebody render another person unconscious. And if they don't render somebody unconscious, then that person's considered a boring fighter. If they don't lay on the line and they don't come up a fight with black eyes and broken jaws and gone toe to toe and actually fought for their life in there, you know, people get great satisfaction watching two guys literally go, you know, hell for leather and actually fight for their lives in there. Some of the greatest fights that we've seen in modern era and in history suggest that fighters have been fighting literally for their lives. It's not a saying. It's not, oh, this guy's going to be fighting for his life in there. It literally is. They're fighting for their life. You know, they're fighting to survive. They're fighting to stay on this planet, fighting to, you know, be able to see their children or their parents or their loved one, you know, fighting to live another day. And here you are, you've got people on the outside that will criticize them every 5 seconds. He's shit, he's crap, he's a bum, he's this, he's that. And there's not one person who's not been guilty of it, because we get caught up in the emotion. We get caught up in the emotion of the character of the person. Remember, these people are trying to feed their families. These people are trying to put food on the table. They're trying to get ahead. So they will say some things that sometimes can be quite outrageous, and they say things that are quite controversial. and they do things to get a crowd started for our benefit. And they put themselves through training camp 8, 10 weeks at a time. Then sometimes they have those fights cancelled and they have to go through the whole routine again. And some say, well, that's their problem. Well, I guess it is. And they're professionals and they have put themselves in a position to do that, which is great. So you'll say, okay, get your point, mate. I know there's some people saying, get to my point. Well, this is my channel. I'm going to do it my way. And boxing fans can be so damn blinkered. Why are you so damn blinkered? It's like there's only boxing. There's nothing else. You don't eat, you don't drink, you don't shit, you don't have relationship problems. You don't, or maybe you do. Maybe you do have relationship problems. You don't interact with other people. You don't do day-to-day things. You don't listen to music. You don't watch television. The only television you watch is boxing because, I guess boxing fans, all they do is sit down in front of the screen and watch boxing all day long. Even the boxers themselves have got lives outside of boxing. I'm trying to build this up and get to the point where I'm trying to get to. So, so we sit down, some of us in the UK wait until, put ourselves through torturous ordeals to stay up till 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Some people having to drink 5 and 6 glasses of Coke to stay up to keep the caffeine going to watch a fight. Just to watch a fight, just to watch somebody get knocked out. And some people tune in just to see that person get knocked out. There are other people that will spend years just waiting to see one person. Like, look at Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. All these years, people waiting to see that fight, and then they're disappointed. I mean, you had one guy that was always going to be hitting, moving, counterpunching, and another guy that came straight forward, was never the greatest at blocking a straight right hand, was never the greatest at closing the ring, closing opponents down, and was never great against guys who were movers. And then somehow that was meant to be the fight of the century. That was hype. But we bought into the hype. We bought into all the talking. And then, we expect Floyd Mayweather to be trash talking and giving us some excitement. We didn't get that. We didn't, and he didn't need to do that, because at that point he said to you, look, I sold you an illusion, you bought it. And even I myself was like, God, that was kind of boring. But that's just a person being real. So coming back to my point about Adrien Broner, we've seen the antics. We've seen we've seen he's got a problem. Before he even lost his unbeaten record, he had a problem. His problem was that he decided to follow Floyd Mayweather. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be the next Floyd Mayweather. And there were many people, and you can go across social media. You can go across various videos of very, very well-known experts that will tell you that he was the next coming of Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather hadn't even finished boxing, for God's sake, and people are still saying that the next coming of Floyd Mayweather. Yes, he had a shoulder roll, but there were clear differences between Floyd and Adrien Broner. If you look at Floyd's early career, he was very softly spoken, and it was only when he realized, look, I ain't making no money here, I need to open my mouth. And obviously the De La Hoya fight, that big fight of De La Hoya, was what catapulted Floyd into superstardom. Let's be honest, before that, Floyd still had the skills, he was still hardworking and dedicated, and he was still winning world titles, but nobody really gave him a damn until he fought Oscar De La Hoya. And again, a lot of people want to see Oscar De La Hoya whoop his behind. And, Floyd won the fight. Adrien Broner comes along now, with a similar, well, not even a similar style, just his own take on Floyd Mayweather. Fine. His own take on Floyd Mayweather. And, he opened his trap before really he had the chance to resettle into his career. And his way of expressing himself was to be the clown, the villain. But if you really look at Adrien Broner, and his behavior is quite the opposite. He seems to be a guy that seems to love the attention and just wants to be cuddled. He just wants a hug. That's what it seems like. But he's gone about it all the wrong way about it, to a point where if you can alienate, if you can actually turn around to a the guy that you have modeled your career on, if you can turn around and flick his hand away and turn your back and walk away, if you can do that on the big stage, Floyd Mayweather brings you and you and your opponent together, and you can flick his hand down and say, "No, I'm not shaking the opponent's hand." If you can do that, first of all, you've been on camera basically saying Sean Porter was your idol when you were younger. You said that. Then you admire Floyd Mayweather to the point you're trying to walk, you're trying to talk, you're trying to act, you're trying to box, you're trying to live your life like Floyd. And that's all well and good, because we all need role models. We all need role models. And wherever, I don't know what Cincinnati's like. I can't tell you. I've not been to that part of America, and I don't have anybody around me that close to Adrien Broner. But what I do know is just from an outside view, and that's really not the greatest view to be taken. I, of all people, should know that. But just from an outsider's point of view, you've modeled your whole career on Floyd Mayweather, and then you disrespecting him. That don't also sort of tie. It doesn't tie up. It doesn't tie up for me. And you've got your first set amount of money. You seem quite happy with that, and then the first fight I expected him to beat Marcus Maidana. A lot of people expected Broner to beat Marcus Maidana. Everyone was on the Broner bandwagon. Most people were. Either they wanted to see him get whooped or they wanted to see him do well. But nobody in all of that was not saying, Floyd and Broner, big brother, little bro. The people were in that. When he got his ass whooped by Maidana, and I was one of those people who expected him to beat Maidana with hand speed, movement, shoulder rolling. When Maidana put a whooping on him, a lot of the Broner fan base kind of jumped off the bandwagon. But Broner kept going on the way he has. Now with his second defeat he's had with Sean Porter, he's even on a further low. Now for me, Broner has gone out, like I said, he's come out brash. He's come out, saying what he's saying, doing what he's doing. And it's worked for him because, he's probably said, well, Floyd, I got to where I am probably faster than Floyd in terms of the way I've kind of shot up there. But stability. When he's been going up there, what's his team been like? What's his management been like? One thing you say about Floyd, he's a shrewd businessman. Or if he isn't a shrewd businessman, he's got shrewd businessmen around him. It's one or the other. Even Floyd himself is shrewd. But even if you look at Floyd in this latest episode or disaster in Adrien Broner's life, he's been very tactical, very cautious as to how he talks about Adrien Broner. He could have dogged Adrien Broner out and said, "Hey, listen, that boy's got no damn respect. I'm supposed to be his big bro, and he's treating me like that. Nah, man, he's a guy's a waste." He could have said that. He could have blown it. He could have said, "You know what? Adrian's a waste of time. I don't even be associated with somebody like that." But he hasn't, and it makes you wonder why. It makes you wonder why. And all this stuff about Floyd's this and Floyd's that and Floyd's this. Just look at how Floyd's operating and why he's choosing words very carefully as to what and why and how, and like I said, boxing fans are very, very, they're not the sort of people I would want as my friends. I can tell you that now. Boxing fans, I'm talking about a low end scale of boxing fans that, all they want to do is see you box, but they don't care about your life. If you were to put a gun to you, they didn't care because there's always another fight to look at. They're kind of like managers. They're kind of like managers. They just see you as a body. They see what the bottom line is. They see you as a body. that can either make money or can't make money. The minute you can't make money, they get rid of you and they bring somebody else in and replace you. You're replaceable. You're replaceable until you as a fighter make yourself irreplaceable, which means you would probably have to beat somebody out there marketably and very good, you know, like example, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, those are two, Gennady Golovkin, Kovalev, Andre Ward. These guys who've had to get in there and prove themselves in one way, shape, or form. There's a 4 or 5 guys. There's many of them out there. So here we've got Adrien Broner here as a guy that is now. You take the picture of him pointing a gun to his chest, and the expression of, you know, live by the gun, die by the gun, and it's concerning that boxing fans will look at it and say, oh, he's a punk, he's an idiot, he's a fool. I am the first to say that, you know, I've been guilty myself of saying that I think Adrien Broner is an idiot in terms of saying, well, you know, him being a role model, idiotic ways, because even Floyd hasn't gone to the point of saying those things. You know, Floyd has said some things in his time, but some of the things he's doing now are just atrocious. Even Floyd hasn't brought himself to that low level of behavior. And the brother needs help. The brother needs help. I see Broner as a brother. I really do. He's a brother, and his makeup is one that needs help. And I don't know if he's alienated people around him in his life that he can't get help. Because who do you trust? You've got a bunch of people hangers on. So let me hold this second, because I've got people in the room and I don't want to be ignoring people. So let me hold a second. Morning. Rybina Spring says, Broner has himself to blame. I know his style isn't fast-paced, but he doesn't do anything in the ring. He must have known he was down on the cards and he didn't step it up. I don't know if Adrien Broner, to be honest, is a guy that wants to be in boxing. I'm not sure. It's getting tough now, and now it's getting tough. Does he want to be a part of it? But I'm going back to boxing fans and what my point actually was about this. The thing is, a man has now displayed all of his tendencies. And he's out in the open. He's raw. He's out in the open. He's low. He's all-time low now. And I'm not sure how many boxing fans are going to be writing in to send to Adrien Broner and tell him, hey man, you can come for a tough moment now. No, a lot of people are going to say, good, serves him right. And yeah, there's a thing called karma, and I understand karma, and I understand how it works. But oh, he's just a prick. He's just an idiot. He's just a this. He's just a that. Well, hold on. What makes you so perfect? What makes you so perfect that, you know, you haven't got issues, or you're not on Front Street? Because hey, if you had those issues and you were on Front Street, how would you tackle it? How would you deal with it? So, you know, if tomorrow we find that Adrien Broner has decided to commit suicide, and it's all possible, it's all possible, how would you react to it? Would you be terror and saying, "Ah, oh, that's good. He deserved it. It was a prick anyway," for bringing you nights of entertainment? I mean, so many people tune in to watch him fight. For win or for lose, it's entertainment. So the problem is, has Adrien Broner got a problem? Or do we have the problem? We stay up at night watching guys fight for their lives, and if they don't fight for their lives, then we find them boring. The art of boxing is to hit and not get hit. But yet we're more entertained by guys who actually get hit and continue to get hit, and we dog out fighters for being professors in the sport of hitting and not getting hit. You know, we enjoy seeing people being rendered unconscious, and if it doesn't happen, it's a boring fight. We rave about fighters that have never truly been in any sort of a war, any sort of a test, and when they come up short, we move on to the next fighter. When a fighter has lost a fight and we leave them to go on to the next best thing, the next thing in fashion, and do the same thing all over again. And then when that fighter that got knocked out and got beat gets back on and becomes world champion, suddenly we call them a fan. We're a fan of them. we were the greatest fan. Really? Are we the ones that have got the problem? Are we the schizophrenics? Or is Adrien Broner, who's quite up and open and honest about himself and how he's been, and he's expressing himself in the public arena? You guys that sit behind keyboards and tweet and make comments, you probably got more issues than Adrien Broner, but at least he's put it out on Front Street. So the question I ask boxing fans, does Adrien Broner have a problem, or do we? And even as silly and as immature as Broner is, or maybe he's not silly and immature, maybe we're not taking the time to be real with ourselves. Yeah, his behavior has been, sometimes unacceptable, but really, you can sit there and watch a guy put a gun to his chest and just look at it and just ignore it and not budge or feel anything about it. But yet you don't mind torturing yourself if you're in Europe to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning to watch him fight. Sounds to me that we've all got a bit of a problem. It's not just Adrien. Those are just my thoughts. This isn't a big question and answer or prediction debate, but my suggestion to Adrien Broner, in conclusion, my suggestion to Adrien Broner is that he steps away from the world of boxing. I said that he needs to sack everybody around him. He needs to go away, go to Africa, go find himself, find out who he is, not who he admires or idolizes. Find out who he is, find out whether he can find a style that suits him and pleases him, because at the end of the day, he's got to please himself. He's probably discovered now that boxing isn't about pleasing the fans, it's about pleasing yourself. And he's probably found that now, because he's found the fans very difficult to please. And no longer is he somebody that is liked. And now he's on a low. And when he was on a high, it was okay being the bad man. Now that he's on a low, it probably isn't suiting him. I'd love to know what Adrien Broner was like as a kid, whether he was a kid in school that people liked, or was a person in school that people disliked, whether he was a person who was oddball in school, whether he was somebody that, sat at the back of the class and we paid him any attention. I wonder. And now that he's getting all this attention, he doesn't know what to do with it. I certainly know that the people that hang on around him, the hangers on, need to go. He needs to cut the crap with the shit rap that he's doing. He needs to, my personal opinion now, and if I would manage him, he needs to think about going and taking himself out of the sport for about a year. Says he will go up to about 200 pounds. Well, okay, fine. Marcus McDonough has done it. Don't hear nobody complain about that. Ricky Hatton done it for lots and lots of times. Roberto Duran did it, but this is for the good of the man. Is Adrien Broner going to be the next Andre Berto? Very highly talented, but what went wrong? Bad management, could it be? Did he have to take the Porter fight? Could he have avoided the Porter fight? Did he have to say, I'll fight anybody? Anybody can get it. It sounded funny, but seriously, really? And you were saying that as a welterweight? I mean, you can't knock a man his fault. There are guys, let's be honest, Adrien Broner, there are guys that I can name right now that are highly talented that will never win a world title. He's won 3 world titles at 3 different weight divisions. I don't care when you tell me that, you know what, he beat bums. At the end of the day, he did it. A lot of guys are saying he beat bums. I can guarantee you now that a lot of the people saying it couldn't do it themselves. Jake Pody couldn't even get past, the first pro fight. So he has to be highly commended for that. I would take Adrien Broner, like I said before in a previous live video, I've taken Adrien Broner as a brother and take him to Africa. Get him educated. Let him understand about himself a bit more. So what's Africa got to do with it? It's just taking him a hell away from America and taking him and sitting him down and taking him into the wilderness area. Okay, not Africa. I'll take him up into the mountains with the monks. Take him away literally take him away and educate him on life and that consciousness, and get himself centered. And when he comes back into the sport of boxing, have a proper management team around him. Mike Stafford has to go because clearly the relationship between Mike Stafford and Adrien Broner doesn't work. You're going into a fight against a man that's been weight drained, but you're not testing to find out if that guy's been weight drained or not. And you fight in the same way. Is Adrien Broner improving? No, as a fighter, I think he's regressed. So, somebody who's going to be, this is why you need a mentor. James Ellerbush talks about it. There are a lot of trainers with pads, but mentors, somebody who's going to be with you day and night. Mike Stafford might be that mentor to him, but maybe he needs a new mentor. But before that, Adrien needs to find himself, get himself centered. He needs to be away from the sport of boxing, away from the entertainment industry. He just needs to go missing, get lost, go, disappear, at least for a year, retire, announce your retirement, and disappear from the sport. And in that time, get to know yourself. And then in about a year's time, come back, make an announcement, make a big comeback, which you'll be still in demand. Make a big comeback. The one thing we know, you ain't been knocked out yet. You got beaten points twice. So what? Make a comeback and campaign at a lower weight division, possibly. And by the time you come back, hopefully you would have learned the lessons of life. You would have learned at least, appreciate the time that you've got on this planet and making something wholesome of yourself with a brand new management team, promotional team, and different direction. Now, if you remember rightly, anyone who's followed me for a long period of time would have seen what I said about David Price. I said David Price had to leave Liverpool when he got beat. He had to leave Liverpool. I said that he had to change his trainer. I said that he had to get a sports psychologist into his team. And I said that he had the ability to still become world heavyweight champion. And one loss doesn't, or two losses don't end a career, as far as I'm concerned. If you look back in history, there are guys who had 8, 10, 12 losses. Glenn Johnson had so many losses, still went on to be world champion. And don't let the fact that somebody's got a weak chin or a suspect chin stop the fact that he's got a huge punch and he stands a good chance still of beating any heavyweight in the world, given the opportunity. So I'm not one of these guys in boxing, unfortunately, for some, that just dog a man out when he loses and leave it as that. So for Adrien Broner, I'm saying to you, retire from the sport, take yourself away from America, take some time out, and try and find yourself. You found who Floyd Mayweather is, find out who you are. And who would Adrien Broner be if you dropped the Mayweather act? Who would he be as an individual? Now that would be interesting. Okay. If there's nothing else anyone's got to say, there probably is a few people. Let's see if anyone's got anything to say about it. Here we go. Oh, oof, we've had an explosion. Carl Davis, let's not forget, was hyped up. I had him losing against Paulie. He had a couple of questionable gifts early in his career, and he's lost to 2 A-B grade fighters he's faced. I agree with you, Carl. I do agree with you. Who else is beat? Broner has a problem. He has skills, but he's lazy. Yep, I agree. Mayweather works hard, plays hard. I agree. After Maidana fight, he did humble himself for the next few fights, but now he started to revert back again and paid for it. Choose boxing or party and simple. Spring, Ribena Spring says, AB, I think he's good for the sport. I think we all have a problem. As you say, we either want him to win or be knocked out. The hype hasn't helped. Yeah, but other boxers aren't jerks. Mouthy. Has he already hit his high? I do like a bit of trash talking, LOL. AB does take it too far sometimes. Trash talking is great if you can back it up. True. So yeah, there's some points there about AB, and people are along the same way that he's lazy. But is he lazy? Let me ask you the question. If you'd been boxing for the time that AB had been boxing, and your bank account was swell with 2 or 3 million, Let me turn it another way to you guys. Think about this. Them days when you're really, really hungry, and you either you stop at the fast food for some of you, or you get home and your wife or your girlfriend's cooked you a meal, and you can't think about anything else, just and you eat the food, and then your belly gets really big, and you burp, and then you sit in a chair and you fall asleep. That contentment. Now, when you're eating that food and that food's gone down into your stomach, and you're like, damn, that's some good food, and you have actually been satisfied, or even better still, guys, for those of you who have had sexual encounters with females or men, when you've been satisfied, that means you've reached that piece of satisfaction. You're like, at that minute in time, do you really want to be going 12 hard rounds with somebody? Well, just take that little feeling there that you've got right there, and put that and expand that into the fact that you've got millions in the bank. That ecstasy you've got inside yourself, you don't want for nothing. You don't want for nothing. And for some people, they can keep going because money might not have been their driving force. Glory might have been their driving force. And if AB's driving force was, hey man, I want some millions, he's talking about billions, but the millions may have just turned his head. There's one well-known fighter out there who had a certain amount of money for a certain contract for a certain TV station, and many people think that money came to him too easy and too early in his career, and so therefore that was the reason why his career wasn't as good as he was. He wasn't as dedicated. Let me tell you something. If AB money didn't come as easy as it did to him, we may still be seeing the Adrien Broner that a lot of people saw when he first started his career, and jumping up all these weight divisions may not have happened. I don't know, but I certainly know one thing, that I would challenge any man who had just been satisfied that moment, if filled their guts, or that moment they've just finished having sex, to say, you know what, yeah, I can fancy a 12 rounder against one of the best fighters in the world. You just don't. And taking that mindset and taking it into the fact that satisfaction will be the money in the bank. Wouldn't you be lazy in the gym if you were from that mindset, which is what I suggest Adrien Broner is? Wouldn't you be a bit lazy in the gym? Would you not be as dedicated? And then you've got a bunch of hangers-ons around you. Come on. So, like I said, as a brother, as a person that looks just like me, well, not facially like me, but a black brother, I would say to Adrien Broner, Adrien, and I know it could have gone so much better, and it still can go better. Look at the Floyd Mayweather model. If you want to go about billions, look at the Floyd Mayweather model, and there's still hope that you can still be one of the best fighters in the world and you get some dignity. Take yourself away, learn the true art of the sport, and come back as Adrien Broner, not about billions, not about bullshit, not about getting beaten up, but about just you in your purest form. And I think that if you came back you in your purest form, I think you'd probably get a bigger fan base. I think people would welcome your comeback, but you need to get yourself centered. You need a good PR team, and you need to get yourself a new trainer, a mentor. If anybody needed a Mr. Miyagi in his world, in his life, it's Adrien Broner. He needs a Mr. Miyagi in his life. He needs to go down the old Rocky route and maybe start from scratch. Really, honestly, it's like that. To go back and to take fights in small halls. We'll say, well, why the hell would you do that? It's the humbling process, and to fight his way back to the top, and let people see that side of your life. If I were managing Adrien Broner, but I'm not managing Adrien Broner. Does AB have as much money as we think? Ken Porter has made some good points. I mean, he's got more than us. The lazy argument holds no weight for me. Big Bro's certainly a yeah, but it's mentalities. It's mentalities. You got to think about mentalities here. What mentality did Adrien Broner start out with? Where did he come from to where he is now? I would as some guy I would love to at this point in time. I would love to sit down and talk with him because I think I would. I'd want to find out more about what he's about and you know what does he want to achieve in life? Do you know? I mean, he's in some ways he's living the dream to be on stage with Lil Wayne. If you, how many people in the hip hop industry would love to be a part of to be with Lil Wayne? I mean, to be on stage with Lil Wayne, to do that, how many boxers can do that? And then to go and then to have your head head headlining in a big boxing bout. Come on, man, that's multitasking. I mean, he's not a great rapper. I mean, I don't know much about rap. He ain't a great rapper, but still, he did that, and I think a lot of people forget those things, you know. So, right, well, I think I've had enough, and I've said enough about Adrien. I think I've got it out of my chest. I've got it off my chest. Everyone's going to have the debates and the thoughts about Adrien Broner, whether he's a prick and he's that. But all I say is, when you're calling him a prick and you're saying this and that about him, take a little closer look at yourselves, because we've all got a problem somewhere, some sort, shape or form in our own lives, and yeah, maybe we've got bigger problems than Adrien Broner has, and just if this video just triggers something in boxing fans' minds, those of a higher IQ will understand what I'm saying. Those of a lower IQ will hate the video. Those of a lower IQ will say I'm talking rubbish, and those of a lower IQ will say, you know, what am I talking about? But those who get the message will see that it's not just about boxing I'm talking here. I'm talking about hypocrisy, contradictions, and short-sightedness in ourselves and the world around us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't expect great views for this video, but it's just the truth of how I feel, and it disturbed me so much seeing that picture of him with a gun. Some people say it was attention seeking. Well, yeah, even if it is him saying help, he needs help, but don't we all? This has been Ingram Jones from Bayloric Boxing TV. It's been interesting. Now I can get back to my day and getting some work done. I had a problem. I think I've solved it. I think. No, let me add, because somebody just mentioned something here. How, this is another example. How many people tuned in to listen to Kevin Johnson talk absolute garbage up to the Joshua fight, talking about bars? And how many people tuned in to watch those interviews and actually were building up into it? When I said on my show previously that, why are you asking the key question, Kevin, are you going to actually come here and fight? Are you actually going to come and fight, or are you just going to fall over? And if you fall over, would you give your money to a charity in the UK? That's the question I would have asked Kevin Johnson. You have to make people accountable in this world. Right, I am out of here. Have a great day, boxing fans. And let's just hope Adrien Broner does solve the greatest problem that he has got in his own life, which is himself, self-identity. Have a great day. I'm out.